Tzu Chi's liaison office in Perth holds a large-scale free dental clinic for the underprivileged residents. We meet a visually impaired volunteer in training in Malaysia who changed his outlook on life because of Tzu Chi. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Australia, Tzu Chi's liaison office in Perth held a large-scale free dental clinic to serve 81 homeless people and other underprivileged residents. At the occasion, volunteers from a charity organization and a staff member of Red Cross expressed their deepest gratitude to Tzu Chi volunteers.
Ruby always keeps her lips tightly closed because she and her mother are homeless and have no money to fix her two broken front teeth, so she feels inferior.
The police who were in charge of juvenile came to our office and asked us if we could help this young girl by treating her teeth.
Tzu Chi Perth office hosts a large-scale free dental clinic to help the homeless and the refugees. It has also helped Mr. Dugam to bid farewell to his life on the street and start anew.
It really touched me. You do make a difference. You have made a step today in saving someone's life. You have made a step today in someone rebuilding their life.
This young woman from Lithuania found herself through volunteering.
I don't like anything anymore, so I just wanted to change something and go deeper into myself.
I've seen smiles and laughs in their faces today. I would definitely appreciate and pass on this message to Red Cross, and we're really grateful and thankful of the Tzu Chi Foundation for their ongoing support.
Treating teeth, scaling teeth, or making dentures fulfill their needs. Tzu Chi volunteers in Perth host a monthly small-scale free clinic and a large-scale free clinic every half a year to help underprivileged people.
In the United States, wildfires in Northern California have devastated Napa County. To help the affected residents, Tzu Chi volunteers held an aid distribution back in October. A teacher at Tzu Chi Academy in San Jose recently asked her students to fold paper cranes or make well wishes greeting cards for the fire victims in Napa. Paper cranes, which have become popular worldwide, symbolize well wishes.
I've made these paper cranes. I hope the fire victims will feel happier upon seeing these.
The teacher at Tzu Chi Academy let the students use her dry flowers and leaves to make well wishes greeting cards for residents of Napa.
And which is absolutely on behalf of everybody inside the Napa Lake, which is absolutely or so grateful that you're here.
This is a card the kids made me, which I will cherish.
We may live far away, but we hold you close in our thoughts. And that's Jose's name. And I love the rainbow. It's just happiness there.
Tzu Chi volunteers look after the victims of two fires in Taiwan. One of the fires occurred in Taipei's Neihu, where the basement of an old apartment building caught on fire and impacted many of the residents above. The other one took place in Nanto's Puli, where 5 households were affected. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately mobilized 30-some people to clean up the scene of the fire.
In the aftermath of the fire's destruction, smells of burnt coal lingers in the area. Everything has been destroyed and turned into ashes. Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help the 5 households clean up this mess on the 3rd floor. First, they separate the disposables, with the larger items being lifted directly downstairs by a crane. Among the fire victims is Liu Xiumei, who is a Tzu Chi volunteer.
When the incident happened, I was pretty upset, but seeing so many Tzu Chi brothers and sisters here putting aside their own work to help me, I feel being a part of the Tzu Chi family is just so wonderful. I am very appreciative of them.
Another of the fire victims has a son in the Coast Guard service. 10 of his son's co-workers took time off from work to help him clean up.
I'm here to help as much as I can.
I'm really thankful they are here. I was pretty upset that this happened to my home. Thankfully, they are here to assist me clean up.
Working together, we can help these 5 households restore their lives as quickly as possible.
Then in Taipei's Neihu, a basement apartment also caught on fire.
We're giving them consolation cash and ask about his living condition. He says he's fine, he just needs to organize his things again. He will be okay.
Delivering their signature love and care, Tzu Chi volunteers hope to provide victims with enough warmth to last.
In Indonesia, an explosion occurred at a fireworks factory in the Tangerang district on the morning of October 26. The incident left 47 people dead and many more injured. Tzu Chi volunteers from Jakarta mobilized to console the injured and offer consolation cash to the families of the deceased.
On the morning of October 26, an explosion at a fireworks factory shocked Tangerang district of Jakarta. The blast could be heard for kilometers away. The next day, Tzu Chi volunteers from Jakarta visited to see what assistance they can offer.
Today's visit is based on our discussion yesterday. It's mainly for the factory explosion in Tangerang. As many people died from the blast, volunteers are visiting the deceased family members.
This accident left 47 dead and dozens injured. Tzu Chi visited 3 hospitals to ask after the family members.
Volunteers have come from so far to look after us. We are touched.
They have really helped us. Tzu Chi is a good organization. The volunteers are full of compassion. I'm thankful Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help victims like us when we need it the most.
At the same time, volunteers also gave out consolation cash to the deceased family members and note down to do a follow-up visit.
Programs that we see on TV may last only half an hour, but behind the scenes, there's a whole cast of production staff. There are specific jobs related to filming, editing, and post-production. This is the hard work going to traditional media, whereas live streaming emphasizes on viewer interaction. In fact, as long as one has a cell phone, one can live stream. However, there are advantages and disadvantages with both mediums. The most important part of broadcasting is simply the message itself.
这个所在啊，以前是一个残容的大病，是一个甘蔗，但是因为爱心的累积。
Wang Tianming has been a show host for more than 10 years on television, but now he has changed to a live stream. He is well known to audiences, with many calling him.
If some of our fans say they see me on DaAi TV every day, I know that they are not watching because I'm now doing Facebook Live every day.
Ming appeared on television in the past, but now his image is being transmitted through the internet and is appearing on cell phones, computers, or tablets. Wherever he goes, his audience can see. This show host no longer appears distant like hosts in the past, as there's more interaction with online fans, which helps close the distance between the audience.
对，我就跟着你就好了。因为你从赖院长把他拉，5、4、3、2、1。
感恩您收看今天阿明的网络直播。
The thing I'm facing now is that I don't know where the audience is from. They can be from anywhere in the world, such as Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, Singapore, the United States, and even Taiwan. DaAi has no borders, and the internet era allows us to transmit everywhere, going beyond languages and religious beliefs.
Here in this television studio, both small and large productions take place every day. The show is taped and then rebroadcast for a larger audience. Many people are involved, and after some post-production and editing, it is aired for the public. The production process is relatively complicated.
Work involves preparation for filming, careful filming, and then post-editing, as this process is quite involved.
This cooking show involves a minimum of 20 people to do work related to the recording and airing of the show, along with behind-the-scenes work such as cameramen, lighting, etc. As for this live stream, it utilizes just 4 staff: a cameraman, a producer, a host, a person to be responsible for sound and lighting, and the social media director.
As soon as you turn on the phone, you can begin live streaming, as not much else is needed.
As for the equipment for live streaming, one only needs a cell phone and some microphones.
这是否手机直播的？这是手机直播在用的，它不像我们的摄影师的麦克风就那么大一个。
This 4-person team for live streaming is quite streamlined, and they can do live broadcasts in remote places as they are almost invisible, allowing them to easily interact with the audience.
小编他比较像是。
The social media editor should be like a microcosm of the community, becoming just like the general public, as the way they say should be close to what the viewers say rather than just giving the audience information.
The role of a social media editor is becoming more important given the demands of the market for live broadcasts. Now, all major television stations have also set up new media centers to develop and produce live streams and webcasts. This shows that traditional media is being influenced by new media.
Any media is actually intrinsically the same. It's just a different type of transmission platform. The most important thing is still the content.
Will live streams and webcasts replace traditional media? The answer is still unknown, but research from Professor Su Hong from National Chengchi University's College of Communication has yielded these results. More than 80% of Taiwan's netizens use social media, with 70% getting their information from the internet, and just 50% getting news from traditional media.
New media is already the most important media source for many, and it's hard for them to return to traditional media. Also, when it comes to new media, they seek out information that's credible or recommended by others.
Su stresses that the biggest advantage of traditional media is brand recognition and credibility. As for a comparison between new media and traditional media, each has its own advantages and disadvantages. New media emphasizes instant interaction, while traditional media has greater depth and focus, making it hard to judge which one is good or bad. But any analysis of the media ultimately comes back to the primacy of the message and bring potential value to the community.
Tzu Chi from Pahang, Malaysia is visually impaired. His congenital disability affected his personality until he joined Tzu Chi. Through joining Tzu Chi, he found his confidence in life once again. In his 2 years of volunteer training, he has overcome so much to get to where he is today. At the end of the year, he's returning to Taiwan to get his certification. He vows to diligently walk on the Bodhisattva path.
Taking customer calls and helping his co-workers with mail work, Tae Seong-tien works hard at his job despite his vision impairment. Though he's content with life now, in the past he was not so optimistic.
I was born like this. After 4 years old, my eyeballs would roll around uncontrollably. It was hard for me to look at a single word. Because of my eye problems, I'd often complain about homework, and I would get angry. I went to a normal school until the 4th grade, as the children would tease and bully me.
After joining Tzu Chi, Tae learned how to face life with a positive mindset. He's had a tougher time than the rest during his training period, but with the support of his family and friends, he's steadily grown and matured.
I noticed changes in his attitude, and it turns out it was because he goes out to do recycling. Each week someone picks him up for the activity. Perhaps it's due to being out there with people more. He's more outgoing now.
Though he can't see, he lets his heart guide him as he gains self-confidence at the recycling station.
I use my hands to feel the difference between the recyclables.
He's less self-conscious and prone to smile more. He continues to learn at the recycling station. Tae plans to complete his Tzu Chi volunteer training in Taiwan this year and plans to continue his Bodhisattva path with his mind's eye.
I've thought about asking other blind people to come out and do Tzu Chi with me.
In our next report, we meet an Indonesian volunteer who married a Malaysian man and has lived in Malaysia for 12 years. Over the past few years, she experienced many hardships in her life, and she even suffered from depression. Not until she had contact with Tzu Chi did she begin to change her life.
7 years ago, when Riani Agustina Wijaja was still in Medan, Indonesia, she received a Jinsi aphorism book from her cousin. It was then she began a journey of discovery.
After reading the book, I think it is great. Later, I made a call to Tzu Chi Kelana Jaya office to ask them whether they had any English activities because I do not speak Chinese very well.
After she married a Malaysian man, she suspended her participation in Tzu Chi activities because she had to take care of her family and business. It was until 2014, when she was invited to perform a sutra adaptation, that she meets volunteer liaison.
After I talked to Sister Lei Sin for several times, I became more interested in learning. She kept asking me out to volunteer, and she always told me that if I have something I don't understand, I should not be scared to ask her since she can translate it for me.
Since then, she not only started to follow Tzu Chi to walk the Bodhisattva path, but she also serves as an audio operator during morning sermons.
We should walk out and interact with other people, but not only stay at home to cultivate our moral character. We should set a good example for others to follow so that we can gradually influence our friends. My daughter also felt very happy as she told me that I had changed a lot. I was quite happy after hearing about this. She said when she grows up, she'll be a good person just like Tzu Chi volunteers and me. I'm deeply moved by this.
After participating in Tzu Chi's volunteer training for 2 years, she has changed dramatically. This year, she will become a certified Tzu Chi volunteer, ready to take on Tzu Chi missions.
In our next report, we'll meet the winner of Filial Piety Awards, Zhang Tinghua, who lives in Kaohsiung. Zhang's mother suffers from Parkinson's disease, while her father has dementia. Since both of them are unwilling to be sent to a care center, Zhang quit her job 10 years ago to care for her parents wholeheartedly. During the past 10 years, she has shouldered the heavy burdens of caring for her seriously ill parents, but still embraces every day with gratitude.
What is the story behind the 2 Filial Piety Awards? This is Mr. Zhang who's showing off what he has made in his daycare class. Mr. Zhang needs help in cutting nails and relies on a wheelchair. He suffers from dementia, and his caretaker is his daughter Zhang Tinghua. Zhang Tinghua quit her job 10 years ago to care for more than her father.
I stay at home to care for both of them, while my twin younger sister goes out to work.
When our father's illness flared up, I will share her load at night. I will care for our father while she slept.
Their mother is paralyzed due to Parkinson's disease, and their father is emotionally unstable due to dementia. The twin sisters have realized that they need someone to care for their parents wholeheartedly. Facing the heavy burden of caring for her parents, Zhang Tinghua relaxes herself when she's at this small vegetable garden.
I need to shoulder the responsibility since we are not sending them to any care centers.
Embracing every day with gratitude to help her parents, Zhang Tinghua hopes to tell other caregivers that one should seize every occasion to fulfill one's filial duties.
In福鼎, China, 82-year-old Zhang铁弟lived with his nephew, who is also his adoptive son. At the beginning of this year, Zhang was hospitalized after a fall. Tzu Chi volunteers visited him often, persuaded his nephew to bring Zhang home. However, Zhang's nephew and his wife have to work to pay off debts and do not have time to care for Zhang. Before Zhang passed away, Tzu Chi volunteers persuaded him to forgive his nephew.
Zhang Tietdi, who's hospitalized, is extremely delighted this day. Contacted by Tzu Chi volunteers, his nephew has finally showed up. The two breaks into tears upon seeing each other. "82-year-old Zhang Tietdi was hospitalized after a fall. During the hospital stay, he also suffered myocardial infarction.
City volunteers visit him often. When he's about to be discharged, volunteers worried about him as he has no children. Therefore, they persuaded his nephew, who is also his adoptive son, to take him home. In fact, Zhang's nephew and his wife are busy working to pay off debts and do not have the time to care for Zhang. Worried about Zhang, the volunteers bring Zhang to a nursing home. However, due to Zhang's poor health, he's sent back to his nephew's house. When the volunteers visit him again, they notice that the house is full of foul smells. Zhang looks emaciated and does not have much appetite. This is the last time the volunteers see Zhang.
Taichung City Hall held a very special fashion show. The afternoon event involved a total of 600 elderly people who underwent 3 months of training. For many of these seniors, it was their first time on the catwalk, which was exciting, letting them feel young once again.
These leather jackets, sunglasses, shoes, along with cool hairstyles have transformed these elders. They also add to the show with some cool movements. These people on the stage are 600 elderly people from Taichung City who are participating in this very unusual fashion show. Although there is an occasional mistake, nobody seems to care. Being happy seems to be the most important concern.
We're all very excited. We came early. Appearing on the catwalk is very difficult, as I never thought I would be capable of being in a fashion show.
The Old Fashion is never old fashion exhibition, inviting elders to participate, with many going through 3 months of fashion and beauty training.
It is a very meaningful activity. Seeing elders so happy also makes us very happy.
Although many of the participants are elderly, their expression and feeling is very youthful.
You can see that they're very confident. It also allows many people the chance to see the elderly people are quite capable.
As long as one's heart does not feel old, one can be forever youthful. Activities such as this, which promote optimism and a cheerful heart, show that age is actually no barrier to enjoying life.
In Guangdong, China, Tzu Chi volunteers in Shenzhen are in the process of making 10,000 scarves to be given out at the upcoming Winter Aid distribution for sanitation workers. Since the amount of scarves is large, volunteers in different districts of Shenzhen are doing their best to achieve this goal. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.